بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Welcome everyone. Please raise your hand if you want to come up. Today inshallah we'll continue. Sorry I am late today. A little late. Something happened. So we have maybe 20 minutes or so. But we will continue inshallah with the messages from the Quran unless someone want to come up and have a conversation, a dialogue. Yeah, raise your hand and I'll bring it up inshallah. Otherwise we will start with this verse. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن. I am scared that torture or a punishment will touch you from the most merciful. أجمل صور الحب هو الحث على الطاعة. The most beautiful ways of loving somebody is to urge him to obey Allah. فمن لا يهتم بآخرتك لا يهتم بك. The one that doesn't care about your hereafter doesn't care about you. إذا رأيت صديقا على المعصية ولم تنصحه فاعلم أن حبك له ناقص. If you see a friend on a sin all the time and you did not give him advice, then know that your love to your friend is actually not complete. أتخاف جرح مشاعره ولا تخاف عليه من النار. Are you scared that you will break his heart somehow when you actually ask him to stop the sin, and you are not scared for him to be touched by the fire, by hellfire, or he will enter hellfire. خذ بأيدي أحبابك إلى الجنة. Take with the hands of the loved one, that the people that you love, to the paradise. من رأيته على طاعة فاثني عليه. The one that you see that he's obedient to Allah, then encourage him. ومن رأيته على معصية, and the one that you see that he is sinning, فأعده إلى الله ولو جرا من رقبته. Bring him back to Allah even if you drag him from his neck. قال عمر بن عبد العزيز لصاحبه. Umar bin Abdul Aziz, he is the fifth caliph, the fifth righteous caliph. He was a great leader of Muslims, and he said to one of his friends, إذا رأيتني قد ضللت الطريق. If you see me going astray on my way, and imagine he is the leader of the Muslims, and the Muslim at that time, they actually control mostly half of the world. And he was telling his friend, if you see me astray from the correct path, فخذ بمجامع ثيابي وهزني هزا عنيفا. Then hold me really hard by my clothes and shake me really hard. وقل لي يا عمر اتق الله فإنك ستموت. And tell me, O Umar, fear Allah, you will die. Just to remind him, that if he was in the wrong path. So the next verse is فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. So escape towards Allah. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Escape towards Allah. كل هروب يلزمه بالضرورة جبان. Any escape has to have somebody who is coward to escape, right? وحده الهروب إلى الله حرفة الشجعان. The only escape that brave people do is when you escape towards Allah. Any other escape is cowardly. Coward people will escape from from situations. The only one that you are actually brave when you escape to Allah or run towards Allah, run away from something towards Allah. الهروب إلى الله هروب منتصر. Running away towards Allah is running away of somebody who is victorious. لا هروب مهزوم. It's not running away of somebody who was defeated. وقرار شخص قوي, and it's a decision of a strong man or a strong person. لا قرار شخص ضعيف. It's not a decision of a weak person. ثم بطولات من نوع آخر. There is some, when you are a star and or if you do something really brave, right? There is another type of bravery, basically. أن تمتنع عن المعصية وأنت قادر عليها. That's a بطولة. This is a بطولة. Means you shy away from a sin even though you are able to do that sin, but you shy away from it. And that's a بطولة. بطولة means that's a bravery, basically. وأن تعود منكسرا بعد كل معصية. And you come back broken after every sin you do. And that is a bravery as well. ليست البطولة في قوة العضلات فحسب. ليست البطولة في قوة العضلات means the bravery is not only by how your muscles are strong. صعد عبد الله بن مسعود يوما إلى شجرة. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he is one of the companions. He actually was climbing a tree. فضحك الصحابة من دقة ساقيه. And the other companions, they start laughing at him because his legs were very, very, very small, basically. Very small, or very thin legs, because his body was weak. فقال لهم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم told them, والذي نفسي بيده, I swear by the one who has my soul, لهما أثقل في الميزان من جبل أحد. These two legs and the scales of Allah are heavier than the mount of Uhud. So it's not because you're strong that means you're strong. There is other strength in everyone. Next verse. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا. Actually, there was one before it. Yeah, there was one before it. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولكن كره الله انبعاثهم فثبطهم. ولكن كره الله انبعاثهم فثبطهم. Means Allah hates them to come towards Him, and let's actually find the translation for this. I didn't wanna. Some verses are really hard to translate. If anyone knows which verse this one, the verse says ولكن بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولكن كره الله انبعاثهم فثبطهم. Let's see which. This is at Tawbah 46. Tawbah 46. Tawbah, I believe it's 9. So if you go to Quran.com, 46. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولو أرادوا الخروج لأعدوا له عدة ولكن كره الله انبعاثهم فثبطهم وقيل اقعدوا مع القاعدين. Had they really intended to march forth, they would have made preparation for it. But Allah disliked that they should go, so He let them lag behind. And this is the part that we will be discussing. And let's finish the verse. And it was said to them, stay with those helpless who remain behind. The part that we want to discuss, وَلَكِنْ كَرِهَ اللَّهُ بِعَاثَهُمْ فَثَبَّطَهُم. So, but Allah disliked that they should go, so He let them lag behind. عندما يستخدمك الله لخدمة دينه, when Allah use you to serve his religion, فاعلم أنه قد اطلع على قلبك فارتضاه. Know that he look at your heart and he likes your heart basically. فارتضاه means he's content or he's happy, he's pleased with your heart. إن الإنسان وهو إنسان يأنف أن يستخدم أداة متسخة في عمله, فكيف بالله وهو الله. You know, when you want to do a job, right, you will not do it with a tool that actually dirty tool, right? If a tool is dirty, you will not do your job with that dirty tool. Now, لله المثل الأعلى, for Allah, the best example, Allah, same thing. He doesn't like the people who are actually not good or dirty, basically. He don't want them, right? That's why he actually, in this verse, he disliked these people to march to go with the Prophet, peace be upon him, right? So فكل من كان في غير طريق الله فاعلم أن الله قد اطلع على قلبه فأنف منه. Anyone he is not in the way of Allah, then know that Allah actually looks at that person's heart and he disliked it. لا تحسد المشاهير في توافه الأمور. لو أحبهم الله لاستخدمهم في طاعته. Don't envy the famous people and what they are famous for, right? Because if Allah liked them, He will use them in His deen, or in His obedience, basically. ولا تحسد أصحاب المليارات الذين ليس لهم أعمال خير ولو أحبهم الله ما استغنى عنهم. And don't envy the people who has billions of dollars, but they don't do charity, they don't donate money. Don't envy these guys, because if Allah likes them, He will not he will not like their money for charity. So he didn't like their money for donation or charity, because he disliked these people, basically. So don't envy these people. See, I see message in the chat. Exactly, brother. It's very relevant for our situation. Unfortunately, currently, we have the genocide that's happening in Gaza, right? And some of the Arabs, I wouldn't say Muslims, I'm not sure if they're Muslims or not, to be honest with you, they actually blame the resistance why they did this war or whatever. Just like when it happened at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when the hypocrites used to say why they go out to fight and they don't. Anyways, it's very relevant. You're right. Let's go to the last verse, inshallah, for today. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا. فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا. Let's find this verse really quick. فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا. الحياة الدنيا. This is Surah Fatir, verse 5. Now, Surah Fatir, which number is Surah Fatir? Let me see. Surah Fatir is 35. So chapter 35. And what was the verse again? 5. Verse 5. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. O humanity, indeed Allah promise is true. So do not let the life of this world deceive you, nor let the chief deceivers deceive you about Allah. The piece that we were talking about, فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيا. So do not let the life of this world deceive you. Do not let the life of this world deceive you. And let's see what's the lesson we can get. قصيرة مهما طالت بنظرك. It's very short. This life is very short, despite that you think it's very long in your thinking. So this life is very short. وقد قبل نوح عليه السلام وقد قيل لنوح عليه السلام لماذا اتخذت بيتا من قصب فقال هذا بيت الراحل. And some people told or asked Noah, Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, why you make your house from qasab. Qasab is like a small pieces of plants, like let's say like there's some plants like I don't know what's the translation of that word, I forgot, but there is some plants that has a long piece, and he made his house from that one. And this house usually is a temporary house. It's not for somebody who wants to live in that house for a long time, right? But that was the house of Nuh alayhi salam. And he answered, he said, فَقَالَ هَذَا بَيْتُ الرَّاحِلِ. This is the house of the traveler, of the one that will travel from this life, basically. He realized that this life is short. Even though Nuh alayhi salam, he lived 950 years. But he knows this life is short, so he didn't make a good house for him. He just make it a house of travel. عاش أكثر من 1000 سنة وكان يراها قصيرة. He lived around 1,000 years, and he saw that this life was very short. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما لي وللدنيا. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I don't care about this dunya. ما أنا في الدنيا إلا كراكب أستظل تحت شجرة ثم راح يتركها. The example of me in this dunya, the example of me in this worldly life, is just like someone who, a traveler who actually riding a camel or riding an animal. استظل تحت شجرة. He found a tree, and he sat under a tree for a while. ثم راح يتركها. Then he left that tree, right? So him sitting under that tree is this life, actually. Is this life. It's very short. You have a long journey, right? You have a long journey. And you saw a tree, you sat under the tree for a while, then you left. And this is this worldly life, right? صغيرة وإن كبرت في عينيك. It's very small, even if you see it very big. فلو كانت تساوي عند الله جناح بعوضة ما سقى منها كافرا شربة ماء. If this worldly life equal the weight of a wing of a mosquito in the eyes of Allah, He will not give a kafir, He will not give a disbeliever a small amount of water, right? شربة ماء means this dunya is this our worldly life in the eyes of Allah is nothing, basically. زائلة وأن حسبتها تبقى. It will زائلة means it will be gone. It will be gone, basically. وأن حسبتها تبقى. Even if you think it will stay, but it will be gone. قال الخليفة المنصور للربيع, one of the leaders of Muslim, his name is Mansur. He said for another person whose name is الربيع, ما أطيب الحياة لولا الموت. How beautiful or how nice is this life except there is death in it. فقال له الربيع, ما طابت الدنيا إلا بالموت. فقال له المنصور وكيف ذلك؟ فقال له لولا الموت ما وصلت الخلافة إليك. Yeah, he said, because the Khalifa, he told him how beautiful this life, except it has death at the end, right? Then the Rabi', he's a wise guy, he said, ما طابت الدنيا إلا بالموت. The dunya didn't become beautiful except by death. He said, how? And the Mansur told him, how? He said, if there is no death, ما وصلت الخلافة إليك. If there was no death, the leadership that you have now, it will not reach you, right? Because the leader before him, if he didn't die, basically he will not be a leader. So this life is very short, very short. And the ayah said, فَلَا تَغُرَنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. Don't let this short life, basically, or this worldly life, deceive you. Ali, sorry, I just saw your hand. You wanna come up? You can if you want. Jazakumullah khair, brothers and sisters, for coming today. Tomorrow will be the last room in this week, so please come join us. With this, we'll say the dua. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. We will see you inshallah tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace with you all.